done, they kind of give you an example or a guide of the sorts of jobs that you will excel in or jobs that you will find yourself in. So in addition to that, you can also add that as well, just make it really short.
What about you? You have anything to add?
I think one of the things to do is to ask yourself a question. So what makes you happy? If it's singing that makes you happy and you're pretty good at it, then you can pursue it and create something out of it. If it's drawing or making people laugh, it could be anything, but it's really about that question about what makes you happy. Having the passion for something is, if you can connect it to doing it for free and you can still be happy, and then if you can find someone to pay you to do it, that's even better. So if you're a football player or a basketball player or whatever, and it's something you're really passionate about and you're happy to do it without anyone pushing you to go, wake up every morning and go out and do it, that could be a very good start.
I just want to add 2 cents to that. I'm a learner when it comes to the Bible, so I don't want to quote. But it says, whatever you find your hands find to doing, do it. Aibee? Yeah, please, aid me, yes. Find something that you're doing, whatever it is, but do it exceptionally well. Because when you do it exceptionally well, other opportunities come up. So be the best at whatever it is that you're doing, you find your hands doing per time. The previous conversation, he said he wasn't a good salesperson, but if someone says be a salesperson for 6 months, be the best salesperson you can be. Because through doing that, you will find opportunity and you will find your passion. And really, we're hiring people. We're gonna ask a question about hiring next. When you're hiring, how do you hire? What creativity does the person show you that you want to hire them? Give some advice about creativity and hiring and what people show you in an interview for hiring.
I think I'll start off with, for people we hire, it's always a question about whether they can connect to the vision of what we do. We play in a sector that is a bit...
So what happened is I sent him my CV, my cover letter, and my boss had sent me an email saying, come in, we'd like to have a chat. I knew I wasn't going to be around. I was having my baby, so I wasn't going to be around. And I didn't want anybody else to get that job. So what did I do? With my very pregnant, fat self, I filmed myself for 5 minutes and I spoke about CcHub. I spoke about what they do, my understanding of what they do. I spoke about what I will do as director of people in that company. I spoke about different things that affect the business. So again, linking it back to what she said, I had to research and I had to do it in a day because you can't be replying an email 3 days later saying, wow, oh, I'm not around. By the time I sent that video, I sat down with my very pregnant self and I said, let them not call me. And of course, in a week, they got back to me because after a while I was like, this boy haven't called me, what's going on here? But then they sent me a message and they're like, look, okay, fine, you're not around. When would you be back? And I said, I'm not going to be around for 3 months. And they said, we'll wait. So those are things that you can, they must say copy that. But me, I knew I wanted that job. I wasn't going to come back, baby, and there's no job. It's not going to happen. So you have to think about what to do. So don't just start sending a video and start rubbing your hands saying hi, but you have to speak their language. You have to talk to them and let them know that you understand the problems that affect them and you are the right person to solve that problem.
Wow, very creative, like that.
Yeah, just in addition to what they've said, what I look for when I'm interviewing anyone is initiative. So we're in the creative space and, you know, in my company, Chocolate City Group, we will take creativity and innovation as opposed to a degree because it's a creative space. So what we look for, like what he said, the deep end. So the last interview I had was with graphic designers and we took our logo and put it on the table and said, hey, what would you change in our logo? And some of them were pretty confused. They're like, oh, it's perfect as it is. We know it's perfect. We want your view. What is unique to you. So I guess going into an interview, you only can just show how your uniqueness and why you're the best person for the job, which is through your creativity and initiative.
That's very true. When going into an interview, no one wants to hear yes sir, yes ma right away. Even after you get into the company, I don't want to hear yes sir, yes ma. I want to know your opinions and I want to know how you're going to add to my company. So in the interview even, There was a guy, let me tell you a story, didn't know how to drive, but came into the interview and said, you know what, you guys are not in this, and this location. I have this, and this. He's researched us before he came into the interview. We had to give him a job, even though he lied about a few things. I'm not gonna lie, but we had to. He researched us and told us how he can add to our company. So in going for a job, don't just be going there like I'll do any job. Some people say that, I'm just like, please be going. It's the truth. Know why you're there. All right, the next question is, we look at our country, Nigeria, and a lot of people say, woe is me, but I see an opportunity that we have here. Do you believe that in the creative sector, or in being creative, we're gonna change our economy, we're gonna change our country? And can you give one example of how that can happen with young people?
Okay, I'll say look at China, for instance. What did China do? China cuts, communication with the Western world and started building with their resources, right? And look at where they are now. They are competing with the Western world. Just like our Nollywood and our, music industry as well. Every day there's one collaboration with someone in Hollywood or an international act, and that's putting Africa on the map. I feel like we should, young people, we have the resources. You just need to build on our innate resources. Stop trying to, just reinvent the wheel. You don't have to go with what has already been done, right? Yeah.
Okay, real quick.
So for me, creativity is a root of innovation, and innovation will drive national development. Recently, we had this innovation challenge where we went across Nigeria. We're looking for people to come up with ideas in areas of financial inclusion, agriculture, and education. And across Nigeria, we had over 1,000 ideas. And we were amazed to see that people are thinking. Young people are thinking everywhere. No one is sitting idle. So what people need is an avenue to be able to work on those ideas or execute those ideas and bring them to life. If we have a lot of people creating avenues for people like that, then we will see a lot of growth in our economy. That's what I think.
So I think with creativity and innovation, for Nigeria, the simple thing is there is no other way, right? We have too many problems that we can't solve with solutions out of the box. So we can't go get some solution, unpack it, and it will solve our problem. So if you look at most of the mobile phones that are sold in Nigeria, they all have touchlights, right? Phones that are meant to be sold in Europe don't have touchlights because they don't need it. It's not a problem that they have, it's a problem that we have. And some guys have thought about it and said, we can create mobile phones for them with touchlights because they need it. And I think it's something we can do internally to look at. We have too many things. There's food security issue, there's a security issue, power, water, too many to list. How can we create solutions that solve our own problem? And it's of course creativity and innovation. I'll just give an example. In the 1800s, before cars became for everyone, cars were just for one or two people. Henry Ford saw an opportunity to move goods and move people. He created a car before the roads existed. So there were no roads when the T400 came out. There are no roads for it. So the roads came after the innovation because you see the growing population and people can't live in this, in closed cities. Let's create a way for them to transport themselves. So it's the same thing we can do for ourselves. Where do we want to go? How can we get ourselves there with, looking at our unique situation?
All right. Thank you. We want to thank everybody on stage. Please hand an applause for these people. Does anybody have any questions? We're open for maybe 3 questions. My man, you can step up. Who's next? You, please, step up. Anybody else? I want a lady. Let's get 2 ladies. Any questions? Ladies. It's about creativity. My man, please, come up. Anybody else?
We have a lady, please. Our question and answer the question.
Please, come up. Please, go ahead and introduce yourself, your name, and ask your question.
My name is Isaac Swadik Olamilekon.
Okay, come on.
My question is, as you said earlier, that those guys you interviewed already lied. But now that some that are shortlisted for the internship that we go tomorrow, so maybe some of us did not even know who our employer will be, and we don't know how to find out what we filled online, we're able to research them. So what should we do? Should we prepare out to lie tomorrow?
So he's asking me that question. No, don't be prepared to lie. What I'm telling you is you have to be resourceful. You don't know what's going to happen. You have to be able to think on your feet, be able to think very fast, to be able to really show your good parts of yourself very quickly. What I said he lied about, and I'll be very clear about that, not that he lied on his application, he said he could drive, and he couldn't. And then we found out. But he had other good qualities. So I'm not advocating lying, no. All I'm advocating is have good enough qualities that your negative qualities, your good qualities outweigh any negative that you have. That's all I'm saying.
I think I can just add to that a little bit. So the student team is out there, right? They know the guys who are coming tomorrow. They know the companies are going to come tomorrow. You can also approach them and ask. If they give you a list of 20, you can do a bit of research on that 20 between today and tomorrow. And if you're going to meet them, and again, it's not just about you throwing yourself to everyone. If they give you a list of 20, you can find 5 that you're really interested in. And you can do as much research as possible on that 5 and approach them and speak to them tomorrow.
And my second question is
Only one question, please.
Yes, get a white collar job, get married, go to church. So, personally, I love music. Yeah, but I'm into IT now because when I was younger, I was very good at English. But my parents...
The question, please.
Yeah, I'm getting there. My parents let me go to science class. So now what I'm saying is that why do our parents or why do older people feel that you have to get a white collar job when it's very obvious that someone can use his legs and do magic and he can score goals? And why do they put us in that box? That's just the question I have. Yeah, like Neymar ends.
Okay, thank you. So I think your question is more, well, times are changing. The memes that I saw about Neymar's signing fee, I think parents are starting to understand that it is not that big a deal. You don't have to study science. Now take it back. Sometimes you have to look at where people are getting their ideas from. In their own times, they wanted to be safe and secure in their roles. Medicine, pharmacy, law, engineering were jobs that made you safe. Being anything else meant that you will be broke and you will starve and no one else will bail you out. But now they can see that things are changing. If you even look around, the kind of roles that we have today, graphics design, there was something I saw recently. There was a job I saw online. It was advertised as for millennials, analyzing millennials. Just that in itself, and that is going to be a thing in 5 years. Because even right now in my office, I think I'm the oldest woman. I've never been that old. I probably want to work in the ministry where I can be a baby again. But I'm the oldest woman in my office. Everyone is young. But parents are starting to change. Things are starting to change around them. The musicians, back when I was younger, we not that we looked down on musicians, but we didn't reckon with them. We didn't. But now you see them, they're the ones balling, like no joke. And so parents can see that. But one thing I will say to you, education is key. So even if you want to study music and be a singer, I would have put you on the spot if we had time and you would have sang for me. And if your voice wasn't great, everyone here would have booed you. Everyone will boo you. So what I would say to you, oh, you're a rapper. Is that, do we have time for him to do like a line or two?
If it's not hard, you see the people now.
I'm destroying you. Let's give us 4 lines. Don't go over. Guys, can we have 1 half, please?
No, one.
4 lines only.
So this time every master kind of expensive, right? So I had to write on that just so I could get it right. Then I get Does anybody else have anything to add to that?
This guy just deceived you guys.
Was that his own song or someone else's? Or was he speaking English?
It's all about swag now, baby. That's all it is. Go ahead, next question. Thank you very much. My name is Bayo.
And I want to ask a question concerning creativity. Now, I think I always have this problem with creativity. Having several ideas. Creativity has to do with ideas, transforming them to come up with something good. Now, can you probably help shed more light on the thin line between creativity and reality? Now, at times, for example, at times I have a lot of ideas. I see things like, okay, this thing can get better like this, can get better like this. But to putting it to action can be somehow hectic. Like, for example, for some time now, I've been working on some ideas I have. Yeah, so how can we transform creativity into reality? So what are those things that we face? What are those things that we have to do to help us transform creativity into reality? Thank you.
I would say I understand where you're coming from. There's something called what's it called now? A writer's block. Sometimes it can get very confusing. You have all this creativity just hitting you from every angle. What you should do, I feel, is step back and get someone else's point of view, right? Because sometimes we can be in our little world and, just be by ourselves and get confused. But take a minute, step back, and ask around, have someone else's point of view, and then I'm sure you'd be able to find your way.
Let me go against that. I'm sorry. In my opinion, you don't have anyone else's point of view. You know what you want in your heart, and you got to bring it out. The thing that you need to do is take a step. I feel like a lot of us have too many ideas and scared to take that step. Now, you can let that fear motivate you, because you can be embarrassed, it cannot work out, but that's fine. A lot of us, if you have a lot of ideas, but if you don't take that step, nothing's going to happen. You're going to see someone else with the idea. So my advice to you is, don't go to someone else. I mean, that's one option, but mine is don't go to someone else because they'll confuse you. Because then they have their idea to add to this situation. You know what you want. Take a step. That's what you need to do.
Okay. I think something else to do is to apply something called SMART to to your creativity or your ideas. I think for SMART, the first one is specific. So it shouldn't be something that's all over the place. So it has to be very specific. Something else, look at something that's attainable. If you say if your creativity is around going to Mars today, it's not attainable at the moment. Looking at the way things are, you can work towards it in the next 10 years. But looking at the resources you have, is it attainable? So something, and the third one is results oriented. So you have to bring into some results, and it has to be measurable. So you have to be able to measure what you want to do, and then it has to be time bound. So if you give yourself a week on that, or you give yourself 6 months, or give yourself 4 months on it, and you don't do it, just leave it and go on to something else, because it just keeps going on and on and on. Yeah.
Very, very smart. You have something to add?
Say quote. So Steve Jobs said ideas are overrated, but execution is key. So lots of us have ideas. I have ideas every day. You can ask my colleague. I'm always thinking. I've come up with Uber Keke. Every day I have something. Nigeria, because of the way the country is, you can just sit in one place and start thinking of different things and how you can solve it. But like I said, if it's not specific, if it's not attainable, and if it's taking too long, it probably most likely wouldn't happen. And your ideas don't have to be perfect. Just start, like you said. Just do them. Start.
All right. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate your conversation. Thank you guys for being patient. We have one more question. Okay. Finally.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm finalist, an English student, and I like writing. I'm a budding writer and a content creator. And this is sort of way of it crashing because I'll be here tomorrow. So I just want to know, as a budding writer, someone interested in social media and everything, what do you advise? What are the paths you should take to put your stuff out there?
Just write. There's so many platforms.
I write
What platforms do you write on?
I'm still a closer writer, actually.
If nobody can see it, then you're not writing. Yeah? That's the honest truth. He said something, I think before we started, if you don't put yourself out there, no one is going to put you out there. So I don't know what you're writing. But if you ask me what am I writing, I'll tell you where to go. And you may be a better writer than me, but if no one sees your stuff, then it's not happening. So start writing. You can find me on Twitter, Tunde-Anjous. Follow me, I'll tell you where to put your stuff on, and then try and push it out.
Sorry, could you say that again?
Tunde-Anjous, Tounanjous.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you for coming. Let me just real quick, if you go, we're actually hiring at Wilson's Juice Company. So if you go to our Instagram, Wilson's Juice Co., you will see the positions that are available. I hired 2 people from Unilag yesterday, they're alums. So it's available, there's jobs out there. I'm not sure if we're going to be here tomorrow, but look on our Instagram, you will see what's available. There's an application process there as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. Give them a round of applause. But since we're talking about passion and creativity, Aibee would like to add some things. Just 1 minute.
Great. Hello, a YouTuber, which is why I wanted to say something. Since we're talking about creativity and I didn't get to talk about my YouTube channel earlier on. So for those, we're talking about being passionate and having passion and having ideas to do things, but you don't know where to start or how to start. Depending on what your passion is or how you want to go about it, I think YouTube is an amazing platform for you to get started. And I don't want to take anyone's time, but you can find me on YouTube. My name is Beni on my YouTube channel.